Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana and I am here to assist you on your journey of spiritual growth and personal development. Today I would like to do a tarot reading to find out what is your path to healing. This reading is going to serve those of you who are currently on a path of healing, and by healing, I mean not necessarily physical healing, healing of the body, but I am more looking towards psychological, emotional healing, healing our traumas, healing the wounds of our soul. It could go as deep as that. And of course, physical component is a part of that, but primarily this is going to be about healing at a soul level, at a level of our consciousness. Okay, but now let's take a look at the tarot decks. So this is your choice for this reading. You can pick either deck number 1 or deck number 2 or deck number 3. Do take some time to connect with your energy, with your healing journey, and with the challenges that you are facing currently. And once you've done that, once you feel that you have taken your time to meditate, to journal, to reflect upon your situation, then whichever deck speaks to you the most is the one you want to choose for your reading. Hi there again. So this is a reading for you if you picked the first tarot deck, which is the Ghost Tarot. So what is your path to healing, group number 1? Let's at first take a look at your current state of being, your present situation. What insights can we have? And here you have the Three of Pentacles. What draws my attention is this woman here. She's watering the plant, but then she's also blindfolded. So she may be doing something, hoping to reach certain result. But what the blindfold symbolizes is that she doesn't know the outcome of her effort. She's working towards something, but she also often feels lost and confused because maybe the results are not really coming as soon as she has hoped for, or maybe she feels that she lacks some certain skills or knowledge that is necessary to accelerate the progression of this project, whatever is on her mind. The lack of guidance may be there. Maybe you need somebody to lead you or to guide you on your journey, to support you. Maybe you need to have like a consultant or a counselor, somebody, or just a trusted friend, anybody who could show you a different perspective, and anybody who could reassure you that you are actually doing a good thing for yourself and your intentions will eventually lead to some beautiful result. You will see the fruits of your labor. And another thing that's happening, there is this ghostly figure in the background, and he's also working on something. He is also putting in the work, and you might not see the full picture here, but you are not the only one working on your behalf, basically. There are other influences, other people, other energies. Maybe even if you are into things like that, maybe even your spirit guides, your spirit guide team, your guardian angels, if you believe in those things, and if you communicate with those beings, then they are always there. And even though sometimes you may feel that you don't really hear them, they don't really talk to you, you cannot perceive them. Even though that might be the case for you sometimes, rest assured that they are there and they know what your intentions are, they know your desires, they know your heart, and they are working just as hard as you, or even harder, to make everything flow for you so that you could really achieve the healing that you desire. So I would say, all in all, that don't be disheartened, because you could be in a place where you sometimes doubt whether it's really worth the effort. You could have experienced some rough times and you are constantly reminded of that, or that is exactly what you are trying to heal. You are trying to heal those wounds and those painful, not so pleasant past experiences, and it has really taken a toll on you. So you don't really know whether it's even possible to create the life that you want to create for yourself, and whether it will ever work, whether you will ever fix what you think needs to be fixed within you and about your life. But now let's take a look at the unconscious side of your reading. So what is going on in your subconscious? What is going on behind the surface? And you have the Judgment card. So this is a major arcana card, and it symbolizes rebirth. It symbolizes that wake-up call when you finally have that moment when you realize, oh my God, this is the truth, and I'm waking up to that new truth. I'm ready for that new level of existence. It seems that indeed a new beginning is really on a horizon for you. And as I said, currently you may not feel that. You may feel stuck from time to time. You may feel that maybe you are doing that work, but it doesn't bring you the results you want. But I do think that here it's just a matter of time before it all reveals itself, and before you can really see what's actually going on and how your present day effort is actually creating that beautiful outcome you are looking for. Because there is definitely an opportunity for you, which will be soon revealed to you, to start fresh, to have that new beginning, and to awaken to a new type of existence for yourself, where you are really in a more healed state and ready to embrace the new and ready to leave the past behind. Because with the Judgment card, it is that we don't want to be our old selves anymore, and we are really ready to start that new chapter. But also we have learned the lesson, because that's how we earn that new start. That's precisely how we earn that new start. We learn the lesson, and we are ready to work hard, sometimes maybe more often than not, to learn that lesson. Because yes, it is usually hard, because if it wouldn't be hard, then we would never appreciate ourselves as we come out on the other side of that, as we really master the lesson. We wouldn't appreciate that wisdom and that knowledge and self-growth and that personal transformation that comes out of learning that lesson. And once you are able to really take a look at everything that has happened to you and really see what has that meant to you, what meanings have you assigned to your pain, to the events that have happened to you, to everything that you have been through, and how it all has created your current paradigm you are living in right now. Once you are able to really have it laid out in front of you, you can start to see, but hey, what do I want to be different? Now I understand where I am, where I'm coming from. But how will I change that? How will I rearrange the cards and everything that I now know? How will I rearrange that so that I can make a better life for myself? And that is something that's currently happening to you. And once you're ready, once you will have done the work required, and once you will learn your lesson and really crystallize the knowledge that you get out of learning that lesson, the new day will come to you. Okay, now let's take a look at the conscious side of the reading. So what's on your mind? What is your basically intentions and actions, and what are you up to? Well, yes, you are. I think you are indeed concerned with working. Here you have the Two of Pentacles. So you are trying to accomplish several things at once, or maybe you have different areas of life that you need to take care of simultaneously. It does seem that you are very practically oriented. You want to really work on things, and you are willing to take on those obligations and duties and really attend to them. I don't think that you are trying to avoid work. Yeah, as I already mentioned, the only thing that may make you frustrated is not being able to see the end of the journey. Because yes, indeed, sometimes with the Two of Pentacles, it can take you into a routine where you can no longer see where it actually takes me. You cease to be able to see things in perspective, and you might be wondering, okay, I'm doing all these things, I'm taking care of all these things, but is that all there is? Where does it take me, and what do I get out of that? Is this really something that I need to be working on? Is that really worth it? So indeed, you could be busy, and actually that busyness could be exactly that thing that prevents you from tuning into those higher realms or those deeper levels where the real change is actually taking place, which happens in your unconscious side. You are busy here working on your stuff, but sometimes you are too busy and too tired, and your mind is too occupied with the next thing you need to accomplish that it's hard for you to actually see the change that's taking place. And advice for you is Ace of Swords. You do need to seek that clarity that is currently missing for you. It seems like indeed that there is a bit of a gap here between where your current focus is and what's really going on for you. And your advice with the Ace of Swords is close the gap so that you can have that idea in your mind, and so that you are in touch with the truth. Because Ace of Swords, it represents truth that oftentimes comes in a form of an idea, maybe a solution that you finally find for a problem that you have been working on and trying to solve. But basically you have the clarity finally. And at the background of this card there are clouds, and those clouds are passing, and the full moon is being revealed, and also there is a full moon on the Judgment card. So you need to be aware of this, of the real meaning of your actions, the real meaning of your work. And that will relieve you and take away a lot of pressure that you may be currently feeling. Doing that little chore is basically just a little part of the plan, of the bigger scheme. And you need to bridge that gap between the little work, that little chore, the little task, and the bigger picture. What change are you creating? And that is when your healing will start to take effect, so to speak. That's how it feels like. Because then you will know that you are really making some good progress towards healing yourself. And finally, you have the outcome card, which is the Six of Pentacles. So you have really a lot of earth energy here. So this is another card from the Suit of Pentacles. And here we are back to the scenery of the graveyard. We again have the full moon. We have a tombstone, just as here on this card, on the Judgment card. But there are those lovers here in the background. So how it feels to me is that you will be able to really feel the tangible results of your effort. It's like closing a deal with your past and being no longer in conflict with it, no longer resisting your past, no longer finding your past as an enemy, which could be the case right now. Because here with this card, it feels like, okay, now I have found my peace. I have come to terms with what happened to me, what hurt me, what was the reason I'm on the path of healing in the first place. So I am finally at peace with that. And the demons of the past no longer haunt you just because you don't resist that anymore. You accept that and then you let go. And it happens on such a visceral, physical level that you can really feel it in your body, and you can feel how your life changes and how your physical environment changes because of that. Yes, starting from your body, you feel lighter in your body, you feel more uplifted, your mood may improve, and you could start to feel more energy because of that, because you have given yourself a permission to let go of the old by really coming to terms with it, accepting it, and then just letting it be. It will always remain a chapter in the book of your life. It will always be there. What happened to you, no matter when it happened in your past, but what happened, happened, and you cannot change the fact that it did. And it will always stay there, and you can revisit it from time to time if you need to, if you feel that you would like to. But you are also giving yourself an opportunity to start afresh, to open up a new chapter, write a new story. And there is no tension anymore, there is no pressure. It's just I'm fine where I am type of feeling. I feel that I have finally found the meaning of my suffering, even. And I'm really at peace with that. Now I have really found my peace. And whatever you do next, whatever follows afterwards, is based on peace, on that peaceful existence that you have now created within yourself. And so the future is not overshadowed by your past anymore. But what really is important here, that you are able to let your past just be, while still being okay with that, while still embracing yourself and understanding the lesson that you were supposed to learn through your past experiences. So I think that's about it. This is what I see for you, and this is how your path to healing feels to me. I hope that you find this reading helpful and that it resonated with you, and that you could have some insights out of that could help you really implement the change that you are looking for. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye. Hello, group number 2. So this is your reading if you picked the Tarot of Vampyres, which was the second deck in my selection. I have already shuffled the cards and laid them out so that we can save time here. And okay, let's take a look at your path to healing and what's going on for you and what is the guidance that you can receive. And first, let's take a look at your current state of being. What is your current energy regarding your path to healing? And you have the Daughter of Grails, which is the Page of Cups in the conventional tarot. This talks about opening up to your vulnerability. And as for your current energy, it could mean several different things to you. So maybe you have stepped on a journey of healing your inner child. Maybe that is something that is going on for you right now. Or maybe you have reached that deeper place within you where you can finally get in touch with your sensitivity and vulnerability. So the sensitive side of you is something that you are connecting with. Or maybe you are looking to invite more of that into your life. Maybe you realize that you need more sensitivity and softness and gentleness in your life. Maybe there's too much harshness there. Maybe you need to be strong all the time, and you need to take care of yourself and others as well, and you have a lot of responsibilities and you cannot be weak. But then you realize that there is something wrong with the whole concept of being strong. And maybe you start to realize that weakness can actually be your greatest strength, because it's so pure that nothing can harm it, nothing can really touch it and damage it. It's very, very healing, just by being able to create this attitude of love for whatever it embraces. So that could be that. Also, there could be a lot of pain if you are more on a shadow side of this card, of this energy, because actually this is where it hurts the most. Once you are able to reach that stage in your healing process where you really get at the heart of the issue, most of the time you will realize that that is that little child within you who's wounded, who's in pain, who's suffering. And it's very, very painful to realize that for the very first time. Once you connect to that child for the first time and you realize the amount of suffering that that child is constantly in, it just breaks your heart. And it's also something that could be very challenging to withstand. So yes, indeed, it could play out in several ways depending on you individually, but nevertheless there is this theme of innocence, of inner child, of heightened sensitivity and love that's coming up for you as your present energy. But now let's take a look at your subconscious side, what's going on underneath the surface, what you are not aware of. And here you have the Prince of Knives, another court card, just as the Daughter of Grails, but this is a very different energy. He's not sensitive at all. He cares about the facts, he cares about the truth, and he cares about clarity. So what's really going on here? So with this type of energy, there could be a lot of truths surfacing currently for you. Or if it's not yet happening, it's about to happen, or there is a very good possibility that it's about to happen with the Prince of Knives, because he wants to delve deep for that truth here in the subconscious aspect of your energy and of your being. But indeed, the major conflict between the Daughter of Grails and the Prince of Knives is that Prince of Knives is very straightforward, and he doesn't care about the vulnerability and sensitivity of this. So this could be a challenge for you at some point, because those truths can indeed be painful. And it's a matter of you being able to manage that. Being able to not discard the truth just because it's painful. But here you need to release your fear and resistance towards knowing that truth and the pain that comes with it. So you should not think that the Daughter of Grails and whatever she represents for you, that she's too weak to be able to listen to this Prince of Knives and what he needs to deliver, because he's also a messenger. He's here to serve the purpose of delivering a news of some sort. The Daughter of Grails is strong enough to be able to hold that truth and don't break underneath that pressure or that shock or whatever it is, that whatever emotion is being awakened by learning that piece of information. So yes, this could be a tricky part for you to manage, but then again, as I said, it is about your maturity and wisdom, how wise you are and how you are able to distance yourself mentally from engaging with the emotional aspect of the truth, if that makes sense. And by that I mean understanding the facts for what they are without adding necessary meanings to them. Because if something has happened, or if there are certain information that is currently missing to you, and then you find out this information and it feels shocking to you, or it's just feels too painful to bear, then you must be able to take a step back and not engage with the emotional aspect of that message. Just take the message that the Prince of Knives has delivered to you. Take the message and leave the rest. And then you can start to implement whatever device is there. Or you can start to put the bigger picture together, because it's another piece of the puzzle that was missing before. And you need that very objective attitude here in order to heal. Because the problem with the Daughter of Grails is she is not objective. She's very sensitive, and she often has boundary issues. It's very easy to her to let her boundaries be crossed and her inner space invaded. And sometimes it comes to her own detriment. So with the Prince of Knives, there is this healthy objectivity. It refreshes you, it wakes you up, and it is like, okay, so this is the truth. This is what is really going on. This is what I need to understand. And if you don't fall into that emotional pit from which it's very hard to get out of, then you can really take that piece of knowledge that has reached you and make it work for you. Make the healing progress. Okay, but what is going on the conscious side? And here we are looking at your intentions and your actions, what's on your mind, and what you are doing. And Lord of Knives. So another card from the suit of knives. This is the King of Swords in the conventional tarot. And yes, of course, there are a lot of similarities between the Prince of Knives and the Lord of Knives, except that the Prince of Knives is a younger, less matured version of the Lord of Knives. The Lord of Knives has it all. He is able to systemize his knowledge in a way that really makes sense, which is something that Prince of Knives is simply learning to do. So having the Lord of Knives here in this placement could indicate that you have currently engaged in some sort of consulting process. Maybe you are seeing a therapist, or maybe you are consulting some source of information like literature of certain kind, or you are gathering information from people you think are respectable in the field that you are interested in with regards to the challenge that you are currently facing, because you want to have an expert opinion. It does seem that you feel a bit confused with this Daughter of Grails. You could find yourself a little bit lost. So you are looking for some guidance, some real and concrete guidance, and maybe even action steps and strategies that you could implement. And this is interesting because there could be some interesting things going on between the Prince of Knives, which is your unconscious aspect, and the Lord of Knives, which could be that conscious knowledge and wisdom you could be inviting into your life and into your situation with regards to your healing journey. Because the Prince of Knives is also a rebel, and I'm not sure how, for example, how he feels about the advice given by the Lord of Knives, because he could be like, no, but this is not really our way of doing things, or this has helped others, but will that help me? Is that what I really need to do? Is this the best piece of advice? So yes, it's interesting. So this is something you need to explore yourself and see how it resonates for you and whether there are any conflicts here. But basically, you should listen to both sides. You should listen both to this advice and guidance coming to you from an external source, and also the information that pops up within you. Don't underestimate yourself and your own ability to integrate whatever it is that is happening to you right now. You can do that. It's in your power. It's just a matter of how you approach the facts that you have been given and how you approach your own doubts, your own thoughts, how you manage that and what you do with them. What is your process of making sense of your experiences? And yes, the advice, the Two of Knives. Yes, indeed, you have a lot of cards from the Suit of Knives, so there is a lot of mental energy involved here. This is the Two of Swords from the conventional tarot. And this woman is blindfolded, and she's holding two knives, and oftentimes this card represents a choice, that there are two options and you need to choose, but you don't know how. There could be some hardships for you to make the right decision, to choose one of the options. And the blindfold usually symbolizes that the only way to understand the real path, the real choice, is to go within and listen to your intuition. So this is interesting because indeed there could be that clash between the Prince of Knives and the Lord of Knives before your subconscious and conscious side. Because the information you may be listening to or reading, you are trying to take their advice and their teachings and apply directly to your life, but somehow it doesn't really sit with you well from time to time. It doesn't resonate with you completely, and you start to doubt, and you don't know what to do. Can I trust myself? Do I trust them? Do I trust the other people? What's really going on here? And the Two of Knives is that struggle, that mental struggle that is taking place. Please remember that the perspective you are concerned with is your own. You have something very, very vulnerable and very beautiful and precious unfolding here. And the wisdom of your inner child is exactly that source you need to connect to if you want to know your personal truth. You can do that by going deeper, because most of the time that conflict of information is taking place up here in your mind, in your head space. Sometimes you can literally feel your head hurting when there are too much of information there, or when you just don't know, you feel stuck. There is a lot of pressure up here. But then you settle down and you come, you sink deeper and deeper to your heart, the home of the Daughter of Grails, the home of your inner child and all the wisdom it holds. And there is the truth. And that truth is very, very peaceful. There are no conflicts, there is no tension, there is no resistance there. It's very, very peaceful. And once you get in touch with that, suddenly know, because you feel free, you feel good. You feel that your heart, this area of your body, is becoming softer. And if you are holding a thought in your head, and at the same time tuning into your hearts, and it feels soft, and it feels like this thought is opening something up here, you know that's your truth. And then it doesn't matter what you have known in your life, what you have been taught. It doesn't matter what other people's teachings are, because you have discovered your own truth, which exists irrespective of your past experiences, of your upbringing, of whatever you have picked up along the way, of other people's experiences and their life stories and what they have been through, what they are teaching to others. Your personal truth exists here, irrespective of all that. And if you want to make the right decision and truly heal, your job is to be able to find that spot within and really connect to that, to your heart. And that takes you to the outcome card, which is the Hermit. That is the major arcana card, which signifies some bigger life lesson that you are about to take. And the Hermit is all about soul searching. You are headed towards some deeper wisdom that needs to be understood by you. But in order to do that, you must find your own personal path, as opposed to following the paths of other people, following their footsteps. Be very mindful of how you use it, how you approach it. What does it mean to you? What do you make it mean for yourself? And really see and pay attention to how it resonates with your heart. If it feels good in your heart, then that is a piece of advice that serves you, and you can take it and apply it and do something with it. If it doesn't feel good here, when you are listening to that advice, it's not for you. It's for somebody else, but not you. And your path of healing is to be able to understand that and to be able to stand strong, firmly grounded onto your personal path, where you are your own teacher, your own advisor. Where you uncover that wisdom that is within you, no matter how small or how weak, how confused you may feel at times, you do have that place within that is full of wisdom. You will become a more mature person as a result. You will have your own mind, your own approach to things, and it will be much easier for you to discern the true from the false as a result of that. It will be easier for you to make decisions for yourself, your decisions that serve your best interest, that serve your life's purpose and your healing journey. But you need to understand what your truth is. So, yes, this is the message for you, group number 2. I hope that you find it insightful and that you could have something to take away from this message. I wish you all the best and talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hello again. So this is a reading for you if you picked deck number 3, which is the Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot. And okay, so your path to healing. So what is your message? What is it that you need to know in order to heal? So at first, let's take a look at your present situation and your current energy. What's going on for you regarding your path to healing? And you have the lovely Sun card. So the sun is it's a very, very positive card, and it's an indication that what's currently going on for you is that you want to invite more positivity in your life. And also you want to feel more energized. You want to be able to feel good about yourself. You want to be able to feel good in your body and feel energy and feel excitement about every new day that comes, and you wake up and you feel excited and ready to go and ready to conquer the world. So this could definitely be one manifestation of the Sun card, of this energy. And it also speaks about your life's purpose. So there could be another group of you who may be on a lookout for finding out what your purpose is. What is it that you want to do with your life? This is your identity and how you express it. So you could be concerned with that. Maybe you don't know what it is, or maybe you are doubting it, or maybe there is some sort of a change that is currently taking place, and you are healing yourself, but you don't really know who you are becoming without your old ways of being. Because what is interesting, let's stick with this identity example of this card. What's interesting is that sometimes what is so scary about healing and about the change that comes with it is that we lose ourselves. We lose ourselves in the process of healing. And it can be really scary, even though that change is for the good. We don't know anymore who we are becoming. We knew ourselves. We knew who we were back then, when we were more wounded, when we were living a life that was not so good for us, but at least it was familiar. But then when we change that, when we start to eradicate our old ways of thinking, our old ways of feeling, our old ways of being, when we start to heal our traumas, and when we start that journey of really reinventing ourselves, it might be hard to identify the direction that we are now headed towards. Okay, let's take a look at your subconscious side. What's going on in those hidden realms that you are not aware of in your waking life? And here you have the King of Cups. So with regards to healing, this could be talking really about the emotional healing. It feels like that there is like underwater currents that are very strongly present in your subconscious, and that it is something has been awakened. Of course, it could be for a good reason. It could be that there are some emotional layers, some deeper layers of your personality, maybe some memories, some unintegrated experiences that still needs to be processed by you. And if you have been actively involved in the process of healing, then you might wonder what's going on here, because you might be looking forward to solidify your new identity and to start to live by the new rules you have now set for yourself. But from time to time, it kind of feels shaky and unstable, and you don't really know why is that, what is happening really, and what do those signs mean. But you should be paying close attention to them, because there is something very important for them to convey to you. some message needs to be communicated. And the reason for that is that some process of integration needs to take place. Nothing endangers you. There are no threats for you. Those signs are not an indication that you are doing something wrong or you have stepped on a wrong path. It's just a matter of the vastness of your subconscious. And actually, what you need to understand is that the more you work with yourself and the more you try to connect with those deeper levels of your being, the more you will dig out, the more will come up, and more levels of information will uncover to you. So that is something that will never end. This journey, this process will be infinite. And the more in touch with your self you are, the more you actually have the ability to access that level and to extract that information from your subconscious side and use it in a meaningful way for you. Okay, so, but what is about your conscious side? What's on your mind? What are your intentions? And what you have been up to? 9 of Cups. So, well, what is interesting is the honey theme, because here in the Sun card, well, I have no idea how this is called in English, where the bees are making the honey. And here we also have the honey pouring from this cup here. And of course that honey symbolizes sweetness, sweet life, good life, pleasure, feeling good about yourself, being able to enjoy the present moment. It also symbolizes luxury and abundance and well-being and prosperity. So all that is really accentuated here. And with the 9 of Cups in your conscious side, and also with the Sun card, it could be that you are really looking forward to that sweet, good life. You just want to be able to enjoy yourself. The positive thinking. And that could be one reason why those disturbances is not received very well by you, because they are in some way invading that sweet spot that you want to be in with this card. The risk here that could be true for you is that you want to hide in a bubble and you want to avoid discomfort, because discomfort is something that takes you away from that pleasure, from those good feelings and emotions. So being overly positive is also not a good thing. It's something that you should be mindful of, that actually there are 2 sides of every coin, and you should be able to embrace both of them, to have an objective view of the reality and of yourself and of that identity you are trying to build for yourself right now. And what is the advice that you are given? So you have the High Priestess, which is a major arcana card. And the High Priestess is very, very intuitive. That's her biggest strength, and that's the whole essence of her being. You are developing your sensitivity and your ability to perceive information that might not come to you directly, but that comes from some hidden places, some hidden realms that surround us. And actually, you do have a lot going on there in your own subconscious, in your own hidden realms with this King of Cups. And it's like it's knocking on the door, it's knocking on the window for you, but you just don't really want to let it in. You don't want to listen to it, or maybe you listen to it for a little while, but then you don't want to decipher it, you don't want to deal with it. You just want to stay in that place that feels good and that doesn't challenge you in any way. So your advice is to become more sensitive towards your own I would say inner processes. For you, it's a matter of being even more connected with your inner space, with your intuition, and learning from that, understanding the symbolism of your intuition. So actually your path to healing is becoming more emotionally and psychically attuned to your surroundings. Okay, we have one last card, which is the outcome. And for you, it is the Fool. So this is the third major arcana card, so it's another pretty big lesson for you. And the Fool is about embracing new beginnings. It is that the number is 0, so everything is possible here with this card. It's about spontaneous living, where you don't need any rules or preset agendas, and you don't listen to the stories that you have been telling yourself for years and years. You create as you go with the Fool card. And the ability to do that is something that not all of us can master easily. It could be very challenging because we are constantly approaching every new situation in our life with this mindset of starting completely anew and co-creating along with whatever happens to us, setting our intention and then seeing what happens, what can we do about it, and not really being attached to any outcome. So it's this free living where we can create whatever we feel like creating. So for you, it's about becoming more spontaneous and taking on more risks, expanding your current territory, and really knowing that it's safe to do that, that nothing bad can happen to you because your potential is much, much larger than you currently allow yourself to believe. So indeed, this feels like you have reached that, or will be soon to reach that level of your healing journey where it's time for you to expand. You may have reached some sweet spot at the moment where you have reaped the first rewards of your efforts, or not maybe even the first. Maybe it's another place where you can see how much your past work has helped and how much better your life has become. And now you are kind of resting there and enjoying the fruits of your labor, but there is more is coming. And there are more and more opportunities for you to upgrade that attitude of yours that allows you to create freely. Because there is something about you, like a deeply hidden talent. You may not be aware of that. You may be aware of that already, but that talent just wants to be expressed. So that's why you need to move on. That's why you need to look for more and more ways to express that talent, to understand what it is, what is your true gift, to be able to share it. And I do believe it has to do with your psychic ability, or the way you can perceive world. You have your own very unique way of perceiving the world and other people, and it could be time for you to share that with the world. So you are soon approaching the part of your journey where you become healer yourself. It's not only about your personal experience and what you are doing for yourself to heal individually. This is more than that. Because it feels that you are called to serve others, to share your knowledge, to help others as well, to expand your purpose. It's not just about you. It's about something much, much more than that. So, yes, this is a very interesting message. But I truly hope that it resonates with you and that you could find some helpful insight in this message. And I wish you all the best and talk to you soon. Bye bye.